Hey, hi folks. This is probably the first video where I'm going through a model. So today we are going to see the Z image model from the Alibaba group. Yeah, I mean these Chinese folks are really cool. Like I saw this tweet the other day. Like half of the startups that you see in SF are like powered by these Chinese models. You take the Z image, Quen, Van, or like the Quen image models, the Quen edit models, or the Quen text models. So, I mean, these folks are just open sourcing really high quality models that give a lot of competition to the closed source ones like the Sora and Nano Banana. So this is a model that's like just 2 days old, and like they're planning on releasing three models. The Z Image Turbo is released, but like they're planning to release Z Image Base and Z Image Edit. The Turbo is a distilled model, but yeah, I mean they're claiming the other two models are going to be open source too. Let's see when they are releasing it, but yeah. Uh, if you see, so this is like the Arena image arena, and you can see it's like really better than GPT image. It's almost on par with C Dream, but yeah, it's an open source model that you can just host it. And the advantage with an open source model is you can fine tune it for your own art style, like which is what we are going to do in this video. But yeah, like you can see the basic ones, like see how photorealistic the images are, how high quality they are, and like you can just host it. I mean, I think this was running in 4092, so you can have a very, I mean, even 3060 or something like that, a consumer GPU, and generate these images. So you see, it's like the text is really good, prompt adherence, and obviously because it's an open source model, the community is like going to build on top of it. So for a very niche use case, you are building something, this is the way to go. Yeah. So we are going to see about LoRa's for this, and I'm going to just follow this guy's. This guy is an OG. Like if you're using replicate or something, his toolkit is what is being used under the hood to fine tune the models. So again, yeah, these are some of the LoRa's from the community. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for the introduction. Okay, so today we are going to fine tune a model for a Rick and Morty art style. So okay. Okay, I'm just running this model in comfy way. I will just I already trained the LoRa, so it's not going to be perfect, but I will just show what the problem is when you're using the base model as it is. So I'll go and give a prompt saying Donald Trump, Rican Morty. Okay, I think I will just get my comfy way up. Okay, now I will run. Okay, the first time it will take some time to load the model into the memory. Okay, this is Morty. See how photorealistic this looks, actually. But yeah. So yeah, if I go to the queue, see the images are generated in like 1.4 seconds. So I'm using an H100. Yeah, I'm using the instance in E2E networks third platform. So if I go to the cost, if I go to the GPU, I'll just. So if you see, if I'm using an on-spot instance, it cost me like 90 rupees per hour, which is like almost like $1 per hour. But yeah, so it takes a second to generate image. But you see the problem, right? If we like, you see, I'm asking for Donald Trump, but I'm getting something that looks like Rick because I'm using the word Rick in it. You would have observed this problem in earlier models too. Like even the closed sourced one sometimes does this mistake where when you're asking it for a style and it has a keyword, it gets biased to the keyword. I'll tell don't add Rick in the image, just add Trump. Yeah, see, it's still having this issue. It's not perfect. So now I'll show the fine-tuned LoRa. I will just go here. Once I fine-tuned, I just need to tell the name. So I will just give the name. It takes a bit of time to load the LoRa for the first time. Yeah. See, I mean, like because it's like very simple prompt, it has added a lot of things. But you can see it's like very much in Rick and Morty style, and it is following. It is not messing up the characters. It's not giving Rick instead of Trump. So I gave her standing in front of Raj. Yeah, see how fast it is? It's like 1.4 seconds and yeah. Okay. So like we saw the issue where one the art shell is not very pronounced. Like let's say you want a particular art shell, it's not very pronounced in the base model. And also when it is following the prompt, sometimes it messes up when you're just using the base model. So that's when LoRa comes in and people train LoRa for. Uh, and like yeah, so is it like is it a mandatory thing to train LoRa? Why do you train LoRa? So I've used Nano Banana to generate make me an image. So I've asked like generate me an image of Donald Trump in Rick and Morty art style. So you can see it's pretty decent. It's actually better. Like you see Trump, probably it has added a lot of this quirks on how his mouth looks, but it's pretty accurate in the style. But the problem is if you go and see here, it costs like 15 cents per image, which roughly translates to you can generate only 7 images for $1. But like if you go for something like image Z image, even in platforms like Replicate, it's like zero point 0.5 cents. It's not even 5 cents. It's like 30x cheaper. So for example, if we see here, it takes 1.5 seconds for an image. Let's take an hour is equal to 360 divided by 1.5, which is 2,400 images. So you can just rent a GPU for 80 rupees, which is $1, and you can generate even let's add some redundancy. Let's say you are generating 1,000 images. So you can generate 1,000 images for like 80 rupees, which is like where is 7 and where is 1,000. So that's where people go for this open source model so that one, they have the control on what they want to generate. Like for example, I don't want to generate something random, like or like let's say you want to generate Donald Trump in swimsuit. This is something that you can't generate with Anabana. Like you have usually have this guardrails because the model is behind their network, which you can't do. But like some of these models, they outright refuse blood and violence. So, but this is you can generate all these images when you're just hosting your own model. So, and you can see like I was generating like the text and all. So I was generating Titanic poster. I mean, it depends on the prompt. Like you can just give a very detailed prompt, and because you have fine tuned, we don't need to mention Rick and Morty in the word. So yeah. Mm, okay, this is there. So I was generating a few more images. See, so this one, this one. And we can maybe try a few more prompts and then I go to what I was doing. Mm, I don't know why the C start red. I will just add. Yeah. Yeah. So like you can just in real time you can generate these images and test it without any restriction. And like if you go and see here Nano Banana, it took me 37 seconds to generate an image. I mean it's really good, but you have the control here in a LoRa, something like a LoRa with your open source model. Yeah, this Z image turbo is a distilled model actually. We will soon get the base model and the edit model. And like once this guy's this ostrich is out with this toolkit, probably I will make a video on that too. But yeah. So I mean like coming back to how I did the training, fine tuning. So I was using E2E network. It's similar to RunPod. You can run GPUs, you can set a key, you can connect to a storage, and once you're done with the storage, you can set it up this repo. So it's like pretty robust. Like I've made my own documentation on how to set up this toolkit so that the data is permanent. So yeah, You can set up this thing, and this is how, and you can run the toolkit in the GPU. It got a UI. So basically, this toolkit is used for a lot of things. You can train WAN models, you can train Flex models, you can train Stable Diffusion models, I believe. But yeah, so we are using this toolkit to train Z image. So the first part is the data set. When you're training a LoRa, you need a data set of images. So yeah, this is the one that I've built. So what I did was, uh, I used a replicate and nano banana and replicate to generate me the data set. So I had like diverse set of prompts. So I was using nano banana. So probably I made like 40 images, I guess. 30 to 40 images should be good. So 40 images and their caption in the Rick and Morty style. Whichever style you want to fine tune the model for, you can just do it. So, mm so you can see I've made these images. It's a one-time thing. You are not going to use nano banana every time. Just to collect the data set for whichever art style you want, you need to do it. So you collect the data set, you go to new job, you can give a name for your LoRa. And so if you see here, you can just, it's a very intuitive UI. You can train WAN, QuenEdit, Stable Diffusion, Table Diffusion, Excel, and we are going to do for Z image. So mostly it's like you just give it none. You don't need a trigger word because we are just doing a style. We are just having the whole prompt there, so you don't need to give a trigger word. Yeah, and number of steps. The what the guide gave was 5,000 steps, but like the idea is, I'll show the training run. You can give a higher step. The thing is, you can stop the training mid step if you're okay with how the output looks. So you can give a higher step that's there, and like you can map it to a data set that you have created here, and then you can give some sample prompts, and like basically you can just give create job, and it would be starting. So yeah, so maybe I'll show creating a data set. Just go here, new data set. So let's say you want to fine tune for a new art style. This is what you should do. So you go to cursor, reveal in Finder. So if I go here and open the Finder, I will just take these two. So what it will do is it will take the image and the caption from the text file. So when you're creating a job, based on the style, whichever style you want to train, you can just map it to that style, and we'll start the training. So you'll see the training queue. This is already done. So this was the one that I ran. So if you see, this was running for 1 hour in a H200. So it means it took me 80 rupees or $1 to fine tune the model, and the images probably took me like $6. So I just spent like $7 to $8 to create this LoRa. And now that I've created this LoRa, I can generate like 1,000 images for $1. So especially if you're generating something in a scale, it's like very useful. I have some ideas on how I'm going to use this LoRa. In the subsequent video, we can see it. But this is the thing. So you just give, and like you can see right now, it just shows the 5 recent checkpoint. But when this job is running, what it will do is, based on the sample prompts that I've given, at every 250 step, it will try to generate the output so that we can see how is it. So if you see, the prompt was women with red hair playing chess at a park and bomb going off in the background. So when the LoRa wasn't trained, this is how the output from the model was for this prompt, for this particular prompt. Because like when you're just generate me an image of women, it's going to be a realistic image. So yeah, but with the LoRa, what we are trying to do is, when you just give generate me an image of girl, we are trying to make it generate image in a particular art style that we want. So that's what we have been trying to do. So yeah, so if you see in the first round, it's all realistic, and in the second, this is during the step 0. So if you see, this is during the step 250. Again, like you don't see the style here, but in this one, you can see some cartoony style that's coming up, but it's not Rick and Morty. Here there is some cartoony, here there is some cartoony, and the rest are realistic. And then here you can see at 500, this is getting better. So yeah, and like if we go down, 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 again, towards this point, you can see a lot of it looks nice. So this looks a bit Rick and Morty. This looks a lot like Rick and Morty. This is decent for a Rick and Morty style. Okay, this is also decent. But like this looks cartoony. For example, if you take this one, this looks cartoony, but this doesn't look Rick and Morty style. So like the more steps you go, so sometimes it messes up things. For example, here it's not perfect. The eyes they are getting bad. But in this one, the eyes are better, and like the blast, so the bomb going off in the background is okay. Okay, in this one, after 3000, okay, the bomb looks better, but there are some imperfections. Some of the imperfections can be attributed to the prompt. The prompt is very simple, right? So, like if you want a very detailed, like if there's a person on the other side or not, those and all you can specify in the prompt or try changing the seed value. But here you can see, compared to this or this is around like 1750. You see here, it looks a more Rick and Morty vibe. So here also it looks very Rick and Morty. You scroll down, scroll down. See, it's around 3500. And so the reason why we gave a higher step count is we can stop like once it's somewhere here. So at every 250, it's like saving the tensor, like the last five tensor. So if you see when it was saving 4250, it was removing 3250. So if you feel like the output is good, it will generate during like let's say you are at 4250 is done, it will generate these images. So if you feel the images are good, probably you can stop at that and you can just take the LoRa out and you can just run it. So like I'm running this version 4750, but yeah, in the output that we see in the Comfy UI, so I'm running that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, you can see it's getting better and better, and this looks very Rick and Morty. And like I would say some of the imperfections could be attributed to the seed. You can just try changing the seed value and it will look good, or you can go a bit detailed in that. So if you see here, I think where did it go? I think it got disconnected again. Mm, yeah, it's connected. So if you see here the eyes are good. So there are no issues. I don't know, but in some there are issues. And also this, like I said, when you go for a complex text, maybe it messes up. But like for simple text, it's really good. So we can try something like the blog screen page with an iPhone. Yeah, see, we are not specifying the style name. In stage giving a demo with iPhone in his hand. Yeah, I mean you can go detailed like the screen on his back. That is the body. Yeah, see, it's actually good. Uh, you can like so the one problem with the code model that I've heard is for the same prompt, a lot of times even if you change the seed, it's not really good in changing the output. So what you can do is you can enter this random something random like this, and you go get a varied. Probably I think it got confused with the text, but yeah, you see how fast this is. And you can run this in your consumer GPU provided it's decently good. Mm, yeah, if I give the same prompt and ask in reckon what is style, you see, I mean it's a very same prompt. I just asked it for the style, but you can see he looks a bit realistic. You have Rick character randomly in the scene. Yeah, it's obviously bad than these outputs that we made recently. Yeah, it's so cool and nice looking. You should definitely check out this guy. So his tutorial, he made it on children's art style. Like he just scraped some reference image, like 40 images, captioned it, and trained a model. You can check it here.
space yet. And early on, everyone thought
So it's a 27-minute long video, and most of it is like he gives an intro about the model and all, and like gives talks about replicate. But yeah, it's like a very small process. Like you just need to once you know what you're doing, you can do it in any cloud. You can do it in model. You can do it in E2E network. You can do it in run pod. He does in run pod. But yeah, you just need to drag and drop these resource and train the models. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. What I am planning to do is the next step would be like I want to experiment a bit on image editing with the Quen edits. So that's something that I will do. And also I want to train a band model. So now we have generated this image part. I want to try to make a video in a particular style. So let's say something like a flip book style. What do you say? Stop motion flip book style. Let's say you want to make a video out of it in some art style. How do you train open source models and self-host it to generate these videos? So the next step would be like to generate the stop motion art style. So we'll try to train band models. This guy got the train tutorial video, so probably I'll just go through it, understand what he's doing, and maybe show you a demo. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys, for this video, I guess. Mm, yeah, so you can see you can generate a lot of these styles. It's like so. We'll just go here. So this is the Chinese folks. You can go to Hugging Face. If you go there, so if you go to the adapter, you can see some of the LoRa models that others have trained. I mean, like these are all public LoRas, but yeah. Mm, so if you can see, so they were generating this. What is this? Technically color. I think it's like the 80s movie or something, I guess. The aesthetics. So, so it was they used 100 plus images. But yeah, so yeah, you can just train whichever style you want, and like this model is really good. So this is a distilled model, so it's not as powerful as a base model, but like we are going to get the base model and the edit model soon, and we will see LoRa's made for that too. Yeah. Yeah, thanks folks, bye.